Вітаємо всіх в англомовній філії дитячої продакшн студії. Представляємо вам серію коротких відеоподкастів, об'єднаних темою STEM професій майбутнього. Гостями та респондентами поставили успішні представники сучасних професій, що розповіли про свій особистий досвід в певній галузі. Запис подкастів проводився іноземними мовами – англійською та французькою, що доводить особливу роль знання іноземних мов як необхідного складника успішної особистості. Протягом тижня кожного дня ви матимете можливість переглянути випуски, підготовлені учнями ліцею номер 11. А тепер пропонуємо до перегляду першої серії подкастів. Наш гість Мануель Мартінес Альмейда, розробник програмного забезпечення з Іспанії. Автор Тимур Фалін. Приємного перегляду!
Hello, I'm Tim. Today I'm interviewing Manu. He works as a software engineer. Hello, Manu. Would you be so kind to answer some of my questions?
Of course.
Okay, the first one is, what inspired you to choose your profession?
The thing is that I didn't really choose my profession. I started doing what I do since I was very young. So when I was 9 years old. I already started coding.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I used to have this notebook when I was a kid. And I used to paint some sort of invents and creations, like a robot will do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is that I could not create any of those things. Right? A 5-year-old cannot create a big robot or a big machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But programming was kind of a way to create new things. Right? You could actually, with a small computer, you don't need anything expensive. You could create new things. So back then I was making video games. I was playing a lot of video games. So for me, my motivation to start doing that was to create my own video game. And then I make a video game for the iPhone. And from there, it kept going, right? But it was not something that I was choosing. It was a hobby.
Okay. You said that you started working when you was 9 years old, yes?
It was not working like for a company. It was just working on myself.
Mm-hmm.
It was just working, creating
Okay.
applications. So it was at the beginning some game for the computer, and then it was a game for the iPhone. Actually, it sold. It was actually top 10 in the US. So it was actually a big deal.
Oh.
And then it became a job, right? At some point, you make some connections. Your people know you. And when I was 17, I got my first kind of job. So I went to the US. I worked for them, and that was before going to university. So that was before, right?
Okay. And how long do you work?
So if I start coding with 9, it's been already 20 years, more or less.
Okay.
30 right now. It's just actually like a couple of days ago. But from companies, I will say since the 20s. So I've been like 10 years or like 11 years working for companies, doing what I do. But in total, coding and programming and working with computers, around 20 years.
Okay, so can we go on to the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. What does your job involve?
So I will say, I was thinking about this question. I got this question for you. I was thinking about it, like what is the real important thing about what I do? I think it's about solving problems with computers. From the outside, it might seem like an application or an app, but each of these projects has a lot of a lot of complex things that need to be solved. And I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about my job. Is just like an engineer that you have different tools. You have if you're a carpenter that's working with wood, you will have hammers, you will have saws, you will have different tools, and you know how to use all of those to build something. I think the job of a software engineer is to knowing all these things available. So it can be from algorithms, data structures, engineering principles. You think about to solve small things or complex things, and also do it in terms of the amount of resources or the amount of money you have. So maybe if you're working Telegram, right? You might know that there's millions of people that's going to use the platform. You might have to think about those restrictions. But if you're just working in a startup, right, that you're making a small application, you don't really have to think about the scale. So you optimize for doing it very fast, so making it very strong, let's say. And I think knowing these things, this balance is what makes you a good engineer, right? You give you the whole project, the whole complex, the whole problem from the money to the thing that actually needs to be done, and then you do it. think that's what involves.
But it sounds very hard, and maybe it took a lot of time to learn all this information.
I think programming is very easy. So if you start picking up, there's a next question after about this, but you can pick it up. You can start programming in, a month. You can already do something for yourself. I think what takes more time is to knowing to find the balance and knowing to getting a good sense of which tools we need, right? So it happens a lot that very junior developers, they learn one thing and they try to use it all the time because it's what they know very well. But you will find different cases where it doesn't apply. And I think if you want to build something for yourself, like a small application, a small app, that's easy, right? That's something that you can start with, and that's actually how you should. If anyone wants to, you should always start by, I'm going to just build something for myself. And through time and just experience, you will get the rest.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is, what is your favorite aspect in your job?
I think it's solving things that I don't know how. Many jobs, you do something that you study for, right? You study how to, I don't know. Let me think, I don't know some example, but
You have some new problems, some new issues.
exactly, like something that at the beginning you're like, I'm not sure, I don't know how to do it. And through this process of trying things, experimenting, figuring things out, I think that's what I like all the process of figuring things out. And then the final moment where you get the reward of you achieving it. And then it's like I got it. I think that whole thing
Yes, I understand here. It's very interesting.
I think that's what makes it very exciting because you have you're constantly learning, which I think is a huge motivation as well. And you get the reward at the end. So it's very nice. That's my favorite part.
Okay. And do you have any plans for your career future?
Yeah. Now with, you might be aware of all the AI things.
Yes.
So this might change the whole, not only my job, but many jobs. I've been already starting doing a lot of more things with AI. So not using AI, but creating AI. So try to do more and more difficult things with that. And also be more in the leadership side. So trying to mentor other engineers, other developers, trying to teach them what I know. It's what I want to keep doing. And then also some side projects. I want to keep building things by my own. So not a company, but just things like side projects. So I want to do something with the Vision Pro, the glasses from Apple.
Yes.
We'll start with that. That's kind of one of the goals I have for this year. So kind of in the weekends, hacking around in the night, trying to get something done.
I hope you will achieve your goal.
Hopefully.
It's time. So can you
Yeah, go for it.
And the last question is, can you give any advice to beginners or those who want to try themselves in the IT sphere?
Yeah. I think related to what I said before about AI in the future, I think it's more and more important to be good at figuring things out. Being good at not knowing things, but knowing how to know things, if that makes sense. What I will recommend is I think with software, one of the nice things is you can start doing things without having a degree, right? If you want to be a doctor, you will end up in jail if you try to do something for people for having the degree. But with computers, that's not the case, right? So that's very nice. So I will say that the best thing you can do is set a goal, which is it has to be something reasonable, but I want to build this game. I want to build a game for the Vision Pro. I want to build for the Oculus Rift, for whatever you are interested. It has to be something that you are motivated and you're interested because it's hard at the beginning, right? So it's going to be that you really want to do, and then try to do it, right? And even if you don't know, there's actually AI now with GPT. You can ask questions. You can start to figure things and get small steps, right? So if you want to make a game, the first step will be how to put, imagine like asteroids game or whatever. So how do I put an asteroid in the middle of the screen, right? That should be the first thing. And then how to move the asteroid, and you keep going and you learn. I think that's the best thing, because at the end of the process, you will not only learn a lot of things about programming, but you will also learn how to figure things out. no one told you how to do it. You just learn it yourself. So I think you will learn 2 skills. I think it's going to be very valuable in the future.
Okay, thank you. I think that your advice will be very useful for the beginners,
Thank you.
and especially for me, because I would like to become an IT specialist in the future.
Nice.
So, what would you say?
No, as you were thinking about, more like software, making apps, or more like in the computer, like systems. What are you thinking about?
As software and design.
Interesting. I think that's cool though. Like combining things, you can always
Yes.
get new ideas. I'm also
Thank
sure
you.
that you will manage.
So it was all of my questions. I'm really grateful to you for this interview. It was very interesting, and good luck. Goodbye.
You too. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao. Okay, let's stop now.
Of course.